There's a business in the UK that started a program to treat their customers more like dogs, and the funny thing is, it worked. Over 1 million customers joined the program. Their sales increased to a massive 36 million in extra revenue. And the most unbelievable statistic of all is that they realized they could manipulate 72% of their customers to buy products with higher profit margins. So what is this program and how can you implement it into your own business? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the technique they used and why it worked so well, how it sent customers barking mad with excitement, and the simplest step you can take to adopt this strategy within your business to skyrocket your sales. So what is this crazy idea? Well, Stonegate Group is the UK's largest pub company, and a couple of years ago, they faced the same problem majority of businesses face: stagnation. There's a common saying that says, true profit comes from your repeat customers. So what they did is they went and started speaking to their customers to gauge actual feedback to help grow their revenue. They wanted to see how they could get their customers coming back more often to their venues. Now, of course, customers give the usual crazy feedback. Make the beer cheaper. Give us free stuff. Get Pamela Anderson serving behind the bar. I think that one was from my dad. But during the survey, they started to see something spectacular. Something their chief commercial officer says was missing from the entire sector. Over the last couple of years, inflation and drink prices have skyrocketed, and it's been hard on their core customers. So how do they fix it? Well, they looked to dogs for inspiration. They say that dogs are a man's best friend, and they are extremely loyal. So how do they turn their customers into loyal dogs that are Stonegate's best friend? Well, if you scratch beneath the surface of what a dog actually is, you'll start to understand the situation. A dog could pretty much run away at any point. Benton! But they tend not to. And even if they did, they often come back. So why do they come back? The answer is they are rewarded in your home. They feel safe, they feel valued, and they feel that if they're a good boy, they're going to get rewarded. So Stonegate realized as soon as they start rewarding customers for their loyalty, they're gonna come back more often. But there was still a huge issue. If you aimlessly give out freebies to your customers, it's gonna bankrupt you quicker than a Bitcoin bro on a credit card. So they came up with a plan that is so simple and so effective, it generated more than £36 million in revenue in the first 9 months of its operation. Stonegate went out and developed an application called Mixer, and inside this app, customers are rewarded for every single pound they spend at their locations. And don't worry, I'm not asking you to go and build an expensive app. I've got a simple solution that you can adopt later in the video. Within this Mixer app, every time a customer spends £1, they get 50 points back that they can spend at any of their venues. It's a simple process. You scan a QR code that is unique to you at the bar and you get rewarded. This reward program is a great system, but there's many competitors out there offering you rewards and benefits. So it wasn't solely this reason that the application got more than 1 million downloads in just 9 months. The reason it exploded is because when you initially download the app, you are instantly rewarded with a free drink, no obligation. Now, normally if you give a freebie out to a new customer, there's a high probability they're not going to come back, and that's just bad for business. You'd lose a lot of money and you'd simply go bankrupt. But Stonegate thought of a simple solution. Rather than just run into a local Walmart or a Tesco and buy loads of cheap booze to dish out to new customers, they started to approach big brands. They said to these brands that rather than stand up in a supermarket offering free samples to random customers, why don't you just gift one of your new beers to our customers who are already interested in your type of product? In other words, the ideal potential customer. And of course, these brands jumped at joy. Targeted ads for a cheaper rate than what they normally pay. Users who downloaded the Mix app in May 2024 were treated to a free bottle of Peroni Still Capri. The promotion was so successful, 24,400 free samples of this beer were distributed in just 3 weeks. By the way, that's also 24,000 customers visiting Stonegate's venues. Normally, a business like Peroni would have to pay millions to get this type of distribution, but this system was good for both businesses. Peroni got a massive increase in awareness to its new lager, and Stonegate got a massive boost in engagement on its application, while also getting 24,400 customers through its doors for a new beer. Another example, during the European Championships last year, Mixer and Stonegate partnered with Asahi, which saw participating venues have a 13% increase in sales during the entire tournament. Now, during the Christmas holidays just gone, I was back in the UK, and I was pretty much forced by every regular in my bar back home to download this application. Now, as you might know, I've got my own application coming out very soon with AWOL, so I took this opportunity to test the absolute shit out of this application, and I realized something. They were offering triple points on certain drinks and brands, and I found myself doing something I've never done in my local pub at home. You see, men are simple creatures. We want to go to our local bar, drink the same beer with the same people, and watch our favorite football team lose on the TV. But now with this app, I found myself drinking different types of drink. I found myself drinking beer I've never heard of, and I even found myself experimenting with gin and tonic, something I really had never tried before. I found myself experimenting with what I was drinking in relation to how many points I was earning, and the data shows that other users were doing this too. Stonegate reported that 72% of guests have had their order influenced by the content displayed on the application. This means Stonegate now have a way of manipulating 72% of customers to drink drinks they want to sell. In other words, get customers to buy things with higher profit margins. Get them away from low margin beer and on to high profit cocktails. During the holidays, it became my own personal mission to accumulate as many points as I possibly could so that I could drink for free on the last day. I even found myself having coffees in a pub at lunchtime. I was absolutely hooked. And believe it or not, all of what I've spoken about is still not the biggest thing about this application. The pub in question is a local bar in the northeast of England, and the people I know who've been drinking there have been drinking there majority of their lives. And every single person bent over backwards when I came home to get me to download the app because I would get a free beer and some discounts. Stonegate's customers were bending over backwards to promote the brand and the application, which means Stonegate had done the impossible. They turned their customers into a cult-like following, which was so loyal they were going to push potential new customers into their venues, and more importantly, come back time and time again. Stonegate played an absolute masterclass with their customers, and their chief commercial officer went on record saying when the application was launched that our customers have said they would like to be rewarded for their loyalty. This is something that the entire sector has been missing out on, and the Mixer app is designed to fill that void. Now, of course, the average cafe, bar, restaurant, or barbers can't go out and spend hundreds of thousands on an application. It's just not going to work for the majority of businesses. But there's a simple trick you can do that I've implemented in several of my businesses, and it works an absolute gem. It's taking this same approach of turning your customers into loyal dogs in its simplest form, and that is by just creating an email marketing list, because you can target customers and offer them unique deals and discounts when they least expect it. And the most powerful trick I have learned using this is giving them something absolutely free on their birthday. If you're a bar, for example, you could say, come here on your actual birthday, drink and eat for free all day. Happy birthday. By doing this, it means that the person is highly likely to come and visit that venue on their big day. But they're not going to come alone. They're going to come with their friends who are paying customers. And guess what? All of the friends in that circle are going to sign up to your mailing list so they can do the same. And now you've just created a tradition within that circle of friends that everybody comes to you on their birthdays, and you're going to be full with birthday parties. But that's not the only trick I would use. If the same bar has an obligation to sell a certain amount of beer or gin in a certain time frame for the vendor, you can use this mailing list to push out some sales, samples, or discounts to your loyal audience. You could even do what happened to me and encourage beer drinkers to buy more cocktails if they're on a discount, which would massively increase your profit margin. If you're a hair salon, you could give a discount on a wash and dry compared to just a normal cut. If you're a restaurant, you could give a free dessert when you buy a starter and a main. But that is not all, because in fact there's something you can do that is even more powerful than Stonegate's application itself. In fact, it is a hack that is so strong it more than doubled the foot traffic in one of my businesses. So make sure you've subscribed and you watch this video next so that you can capitalize on this absolute banger of a technique.